Have you ever wondered if the struggles you face every day are part of an illusion your mind created to keep you trapped? The ego's most powerful trick isn't what you think. It's what you don't see. In this video, we're exposing the final and greatest deception of the ego. And once you understand it, you'll have the power to break free and find true peace. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll never see yourself or your struggles the same way again. Section 1. What is the ego really? The ego is like a silent puppeteer, pulling the strings of your identity without you even realizing it. It is not inherently bad or evil, but it operates on a false premise, a premise that you are separate, incomplete, and defined solely by external circumstances. From the moment we are born, the world starts building this mental construct. Be a good student, they say. Be better than others, they encourage. You are given a name, a nationality, a role to play, and gradually this becomes your identity. You begin to believe that you are the thoughts in your head, the opinions of others, the achievements you accumulate, and the labels you wear. But peel back the layers and you'll see that the ego is a mirage. Imagine holding a mirror to yourself. The reflection seems real, but it's not the real you. Similarly, the ego thrives on convincing you that it is you. It holds on to stories. I am a failure. I am superior. I am not enough. These stories keep you trapped in cycles of shame, pride, and fear. The truth, however, is this: you are not the sum of these stories. Beneath the surface lies your authentic self, a self that is not bound by labels or external validation, a self that is infinite and untouched by the chaos of the mind. Realizing this truth begins the process of awakening. Section 2. The ego's greatest trick. The ego is a master of disguise. Its most cunning deception is convincing you that it's indispensable to your existence. It creates the illusion that without its constant chatter, you wouldn't survive. The ego feeds on the belief that you must always strive. Strive to be liked, strive to be successful, strive to be good enough. It whispers, if you stop chasing, you'll fall behind. If you stop proving yourself, you'll be forgotten. Think of the ego as a treadmill. No matter how fast you run, no matter how much effort you exert, you never truly arrive. It promises satisfaction, but delivers fleeting moments of relief, followed by more hunger. Have you ever felt that momentary high after achieving a goal, only to find yourself restless for the next one? That's the ego's design. It keeps you trapped in the illusion of more money, more approval, more possessions, believing that each milestone will bring the elusive happiness you seek. The trick is this: the ego convinces you to search externally for something that already exists within you. It creates a fog, blinding you to the truth that you are already whole. Breaking free from this treadmill requires seeing through the illusion. When you realize that the ego's promises are empty, you can step off the treadmill and reconnect with the peace that has always been within you. Section 3. How the ego keeps you trapped. The ego's toolkit is vast, but fear is its most powerful weapon. It plants seeds of doubt and anxiety, making you believe that you're constantly under threat. What if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if I lose everything? These thoughts create an invisible cage, keeping you confined to the safe and familiar, even if that space is suffocating. The ego also thrives on comparison. It's like a scale that constantly measures you against others. One moment, it inflates your sense of self. I'm better than them. The next, it crushes you with inferiority. I'll never measure up. This constant oscillation keeps you tethered to external validation, robbing you of your inner stability. But the ego's traps don't stop there. It clings to the past, replaying old wounds and grievances like a broken record. It also projects into the future, painting worst-case scenarios that fill you with dread. This fixation on what was and what could be distracts you from the only moment that truly exists, the present. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to dismantling the cage. Each time you catch the ego in action, you weaken its grip, creating space for freedom and authenticity. Section 4. The moment of awareness. Awareness is like shining a flashlight in a dark room. The ego thrives in the shadows, convincing you that its narrative is the only reality. But the moment you turn on the light, you see the truth. The ego is not you. Imagine standing at a crossroads, watching the traffic of your thoughts go by. Awareness allows you to step back and observe these thoughts without getting swept away by them. Let's say you're scrolling through social media and you feel a pang of jealousy when you see someone's success. Instead of acting on that emotion, awareness gives you the ability to pause and ask, why am I feeling this way? In that pause, you create a gap between yourself and the ego. This gap is transformative. It's where you begin to see that your thoughts and emotions are just passing clouds. They don't define you. Awareness also allows you to make conscious choices. Instead of reacting impulsively from a place of fear or insecurity, you can respond from a place of clarity and authenticity. Over time, this practice of awareness becomes second nature. You start to see the ego's tricks for what they are, illusions, and you reclaim your power to live from your true self. Section 5. The power of the present moment. The present moment is the ego's kryptonite. Why? Because the ego can only exist in the realm of time. It clings to the past, replaying memories and regrets, or it fixates on the future, generating anxiety and anticipation. But in the present moment, the ego has no foothold. When you anchor yourself in the now, you step out of the ego's control. Practicing presence doesn't require anything extraordinary. It can be as simple as feeling the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. It can be noticing the warmth of the sun on your skin or the sound of birds chirping. These small moments of awareness pull you out of the mental noise and into the stillness of the present. The more you cultivate presence, the less power the ego has over you. You begin to see life as it is, not as the ego projects it to be. In the present, there is no judgment, no comparison, no fear, just a deep sense of peace and connection. This is where your true self resides, waiting to be rediscovered. Section 6. The ego's obsession with identity. The ego thrives on the concept of identity, creating labels that shape how you see yourself and the world. I am smart, I am a failure, I am superior, or I am unworthy. These labels become the foundation of your ego's narrative. But here's the truth. None of these identities are permanent or real. They are roles you play, masks you wear, but they are not your essence. Imagine you're an actor in a play. The ego convinces you that the role you're playing is your true self, but when the curtain falls, the actor remains unchanged. Similarly, the ego clings to these labels, feeding on the drama they create. It makes you defend these identities fiercely, even when they cause suffering. Have you ever noticed how people argue passionately about their opinions, as if their entire existence depends on being right? That's the ego at work. By recognizing that these identities are illusions, you take the first step toward freedom. You are not the roles you play, you are the awareness behind them. When you let go of the need to define yourself, you create space to simply be. In that space, the ego loses its grip, and you reconnect with your authentic self, a self that is infinite, formless, and at peace. Section 7. The ego's fear of surrender. The ego fears surrender more than anything because surrender threatens its existence. To the ego, surrender feels like defeat, like giving up control. But in reality, surrender is not weakness, it's the ultimate strength. It's the act of letting go of resistance and allowing life to unfold as it is. Think of a river. The ego wants to swim upstream, fighting against the current, exhausting itself in the process. Surrender is choosing to flow with the river, trusting that it will carry you to where you need to be. This doesn't mean you stop taking action or making decisions. It means you stop resisting what is. You stop trying to control every outcome and accept that some things are beyond your control. Surrender also means letting go of attachment to outcomes. The ego ties your worth to success, to achieving specific goals. But true freedom comes when you detach from the outcome and focus on the journey. When you surrender, you release the burden of constant striving and reconnect with the natural flow of life. A flow that is far more intelligent and harmonious than the ego's limited perspective. Section 8. The role of gratitude in ego dissolution. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to the ego's constant dissatisfaction. The ego operates from a place of lack. It always wants more, always believes something is missing. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, dismantling the ego's narrative of insufficiency. And then take a moment to think about the simple things you often take for granted: the breath in your lungs, the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a friend. When you cultivate gratitude for these small blessings, you step out of the ego's trap of comparison and into a state of abundance. Gratitude is not about denying your challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing the beauty and gifts that exist even amidst difficulties. Practicing gratitude daily, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply pausing to appreciate the moment, weakens the ego's grip. It shifts your perspective from "I don't have enough" to "I am enough." And in that shift, you begin to see life not as a series of problems to solve, but as a gift to be cherished. Section 9. The ego's attachment to external validation. One of the ego's strongest dependencies is on external validation. It seeks approval, admiration, and recognition from others, equating these with self-worth. This is why so many of us feel a surge of happiness when someone praises us and a sting of pain when we face criticism. The ego's identity is built on these external reflections, but the problem is that they are fleeting and unreliable. Imagine building a house on sand. The ego's need for external validation is just as unstable. One moment, you feel on top of the world because of a compliment. The next, you feel crushed by a criticism. This constant fluctuation keeps you in a state of insecurity, always chasing the next hit of approval. True freedom comes when you stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward. When you recognize your intrinsic worth, something that doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion, the ego loses its power over you. You become anchored in your true self, unshaken by the highs and lows of external judgment. Section 10. The practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment is the art of letting go, not just of material possessions, but of ideas, beliefs, and expectations that no longer serve you. The ego clings tightly to these things, believing they define who you are. It says, "I am my possessions, I am my opinions, I am my achievements." But the more you attach to these things, the more you suffer when they are threatened or taken away. Non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring or become indifferent. It means you engage with life fully, but without clinging. You enjoy what you have, but remain at peace if it's no longer there. You hold your beliefs lightly, open to new perspectives. You strive for goals, but don't let your happiness depend on achieving them. Practicing non-attachment frees you from the ego's grip. It allows you to live with an open heart, embracing the impermanence of life. When you let go of attachment, you make room for true joy, a joy that is not tied to circumstances but arises from within. Thank you for joining me on this journey to uncover the ego's tricks and reclaim your inner peace. If you found value in this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on powerful insights like these. Your journey to freedom starts now. Keep going, and I'll see you in the next video.